Dolphins fans, welcome in to Dolphins Today. I am Will Scott. On today's show, we're getting into a Dolphins mailbag. You have questions, I have answers, as we're filming this during Dolphins Live. And we'll start with Kane the Man. What's up, Kane? He says, thoughts on drafting Devon Achane, the Texas A&M running back. Very interesting. Someone we've talked about before here on Dolphins Today. The Dolphins are in need of a running back. Perhaps they look to the draft, and Achane may be on the board in round 2 when the Dolphins pick. Nearly 200 carries this year at A&M, over 1,100 yards, 5.6 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, a very impressive and explosive back. I actually watched him in person at Texas A&M this past year. I was at the A&M LSU game where he rushed for over 200 yards, and he really won me over in that game. Now, I'm an LSU fan. I'm trying to forget about that game. But Achane single-handedly won Texas A&M that game, and it was an LSU defense that had played really well in the weeks leading up to that game, especially their run defense. Matt House, very good DC at LSU, and Achane just completely destroyed that Tigers defense. So he's pretty high up on my list when we're talking about potential draft targets for the Dolphins. If you want to draft Devon Achane, type D for draft or P for pass down in the comments section. You got Sean Tucker, you got some other guys at running back, but Achane would be a very good selection either in the second or third round for Miami when they pick. Sherry May, what's up? Sherry May, we appreciate the super set saying, I'm super stoked for our defense. I am as well. I think hiring Vic Fangio is an absolute game changer. He has nearly 20 years of experience as an NFL DC, is widely considered to be one of, if not the best defensive minds in the league, and you replace him with Josh Boyer. I mean, you replace Josh Boyer with him. That's just a huge upgrade. It's hard not to be extremely excited about this defense. We appreciate you, Sherry May. Aldo, what's up? He's fired up at Fangio, too. $50 super chat, by the way, from Aldo. That's awesome. He says he's still worried about the offensive line, though. What's the reality of the Dolphins to sign any free agents? Is the Jacobs signing possible, too? If Tua stays healthy, what's our chances to go to the big game? So, yeah, I'm still worried about the offensive line, too. I'm not crazy about the Butch Barry hire to be the offensive line coach. Hopefully he proves this wrong. I think they'll go after Mike McGlinchey because of the connection that he has with both Barry and McDaniel. McDaniel was the OC when McGlinchey, they were both together in San Francisco, and then Butch Barry was the assistant offensive line coach. So McGlinchey's familiar with both of those guys. The one question I have with McGlinchey is, are you going to pay him $17 million per year? It's probably going to take more than $15 or $16 million to land McGlinchey, but I think it's worth it. I think you have to go after a right tackle and maybe draft a left guard. Be sure to stay tuned for our mock draft video. I'll talk about a left guard. Is the Jacobs signing possible too? Yes. I think Josh Jacobs will be a top target for the Dolphins in free agency. I think the first thing they're going to do is go after a running back. And if Tua stays healthy, what are our chances to go to the big game? Very good. I think if the Dolphins want to make a run, Tua's got to stay healthy. But, man, if Tua stays healthy the whole year, I think the Dolphins win the division. If they win the division, they're going to be in a position to make a deep playoff run, maybe go to the Super Bowl. But he's got to stay healthy, Aldo. I'm not worried about the defense anymore. That's what's great. All I'm worried about right now is Tua's health. Mark King says, number one, fix the O-line, protect Tua. We win the Super Bowl. I think you're right. I think the Dolphins can win the Super Bowl if they can figure out how to protect Tua. I think Tua's doing the right thing, taking the offseason judo class. I think he's got to change his helmet. Kenny Pickett had 2 concussions in the span of a couple weeks. He changed his helmet. He's good now, I think. So I think you got to look into that. I think Tua's making the effort to try to learn how to fall better. And I think the Dolphins have to prioritize the offensive line this offseason. Go get a left guard. Go get a right tackle. That is very, very important to do. And speaking of Tua, you can go get his jersey right now at chatsports.com/Tua. Tua gear on sale right now. chatsports.com/Tua. I love that aqua jersey. You can also get a white jersey, full throwback jersey here at chatsports.com/Tua. Tua gear on sale right now. Go and take advantage. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Chatsports.com/Tua. Also a little jersey here for you guys on sale right now. Julio Rivera, appreciate the super chat. Thanks so much for supporting the show. As we get in our next super chat from number one Willy Fins fan. Do we have a good shot at the big dance this year? Nice photo, by the way, me in the Dolphin suit. Yes, I think we do. I think I said a few weeks ago, number one Willy Fins fan, that the two things you gotta focus on: Tua's health and the defense. You got defense figured out. Vic Fangio is going to have full control of this defense. The defense is going to be so much better. You gotta have Tua stay healthy. If Tua stays healthy, yes, they have a chance. But Jalen Hurts missed some time this year. You had a lot of quarterbacks that missed time this year, not just Tua. So you have to get a really good backup quarterback in the building. David Ford, $2 super chat. We appreciate you. Is Tua doing judo? That should help fall better. So yeah. So we hadn't heard from Tua in a while, David, and then he went on Radio Row at the Super Bowl last week and was talking about his offseason plans and went on a couple different shows and said that he's planning on taking judo classes this offseason on Fridays to learn how to fall better. That should help because if you remember some of these concussions, his head kind of snapped back, hit the ground, and it just looked really bad, and it was pretty obvious that it was a concussion all three times. So yeah, I think doing the judo should help him, and I'm happy to hear that he's taking the steps to try to learn how to fall better. Esgazer, $10 super chat. We appreciate you. Here are my thoughts on the first three picks. Ricky Stromberg, the Arkansas center, yes. Jack Campbell, Eric Campbell, or Eric Blackman, or Eric Gray. Yeah, I like all those guys. I don't think they'll draft a center. I think they feel good about Connor. But, man, I'd love to take Stromberg. I don't think he'll be available, but if he is in the second round, then yeah. Take him and then move Connor Williams to left guard. And give Williams credit. He improved throughout the year. I think the snapping is still a concern. The blocking was great. The blocking was really good for Connor. So if you feel good about Stromberg, pick Stromberg, move Williams to guard, and you got a pretty solid starting five there along the offensive line. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're live every week. We got more Dolphins mailbags for you guys, so go down and subscribe to the channel. Chad Jones, our Super Chat MVP, what's up? He says, trade Jerome Baker, release Jones. I guess he means Byron Jones. And Gesicki, get O-line help and linebacker help. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Jerome. I mean, they can save like $9 million cutting him. I don't think they will because they have a lot of linebacker free agents. They'll probably hang on to Jerome Baker. They definitely will release Byron Jones. We'll be covering that throughout the offseason. Gesicki will not be back. Offensive line help, yes. Go get Mike McGlinchey, please. And linebacker help, yeah, I mean, Tremaine Edmonds from Buffalo is a guy to watch there as well, Chad. John Ruiz says, what are some big names the Dolphins can trade for and sign? Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Mike McGlinchey, some free agent options to look at. Tremaine Edmonds as well. Jordan Poyer's a guy that we'll see linked to Miami. I don't really think they need Poyer, though, because they have Brandon Jones and Javon Holland. Trade for? Dalvin Cook, maybe? I think he's going to get cut. Derek Henry would be a dream, but I'd be pretty surprised if the Titans featured him in a trade. But we'll see. I mean, Titans might want to increase their draft capital, and he's a free agent after this year. The Elite. Should Miami consider drafting Sam Laporta? Reminds me of Darren Waller. Interesting. I haven't really looked into him that much. Darnell Washington is a name that I've been monitoring. The Georgia tight end, kind of overlooked because of his counterpart at UGA, Brock Bowers. But yeah, I mean, I think the Dolphins drafting a tight end is very possible. Hamburger says, should we look for a new kick returner? Yeah. The special teams has got to get better. There's no question about it. I think you need a more consistent kick returner. We didn't do much on special teams this year. Sherry May saying, Carr for QB2. Yeah, I mean, I think Derek Carr is going to be a starting quarterback. The Jets are interested. Not as interested as the Saints. The Panthers are interested. Carr got cut earlier this week. He can sign anywhere. I expect him to sign with the Saints. So he's going to be a starting quarterback. He's getting way too much interest to be a backup quarterback, I think, Sherry. But maybe Baker Mayfield is a more realistic option there for QB2. Chris C., $5 Super Chat. We appreciate you. Super Chat, skip the line on these mailbags. Eric Bieniemy is going to interview with Washington for the OC job. I wish McDaniel would give up play calling and go for Eric. Yeah, Bieniemy's a great coach. I think he deserves to be a head coach in this league, quite frankly. He's done a great job in Kansas City. I think him going to Washington would be a great hire. I like Mike McDaniel as the play caller, though. I mean, yeah, he's a rookie head coach. He's still learning, but what McDaniel did this season with the offense and with Tua was impressive. So I would rather have McDaniel be the offensive play caller. Bob the Trucker, what's up? First move for the Fins in free agency. I think they'll go after running back first. I think they should prioritize offensive line, but I feel like Chris Greer, being the home run hitter he is not going to let a guy like Josh Jacobs or Tony Pollard get away. He's going to go after running back first and then offensive line. I think it should be reverse, but I would not be surprised to see him prioritize running back first, go and sign somebody like Josh Jacobs early on. Taking a look at some free agent running backs, it's an impressive list. You got some good options here. Josh Jacobs, very strong possibility. Saquon Barkley, not as strong. Tony Pollard, Miles Sanders, and Kareem Hunt, all available in free agency. What do you think the Dolphins' first move in free agency will be? Let me know down in the comments section. Go down, let me know. What will the Dolphins' first move in free agency be? $5 super chat from Genuine Jedi. What's up? With concerns over the offensive line coach, wouldn't veteran players make more sense in the draft? Also, any news on Sanders' offseason worker replacements? I hear you with the offensive line coach. I mean, I'll pull a Nuno reverse card on you there and be like, man, if there's concerns, then maybe you should draft guys instead of sign guys, because it might be hard to sign guys if they don't like them. I mean, what if McGlinchey hated them during their time together in San Francisco? As far as Jason Sanders is concerned, I'm never going to say another bad thing about Jason Sanders again. That was my promise. That was my promise that I made when he made that field goal. And it looks like Jason Sanders is back, Genuine Jedi. He played well at the end of the season. I don't think they'll look for his replacement. I do think he should probably sign somebody as UDFA to come in and compete with him in camp. But I think Sanders will be the guy going next year, and he should be the guy. Adrian Hernandez, Carr quarterback 2. Sign Jacobs and Mostert. Yeah, I would love to sign Jacobs as RB1. Bring back Mostert to be RB2. We had a couple chat sports guys at the Super Bowl. They talked to Mostert. He was wearing Dolphins gear, which was interesting because he is an unrestricted free agent. He was passionate about the team, excited about Tua. It feels like Mostert wants to be back. So bring back Mostert's RB2. Jacobs is RB1. That's a really good 1-2 punch. As far as Carr is concerned, he will be a starting quarterback next year somewhere, not in Miami. Manuel Lopez, we appreciate the super chat, saying, would Tua working on being a mobile quarterback benefit him? I don't think that's going to be something the Dolphins prioritize, having Tua work on being more mobile, because they're going to want to keep him healthy. They're going to want to have him be more of a pocket quarterback. I mean, yeah, he can be elusive. He can, break tackles, whatnot, but I don't think they're going to want him running for his life with some of the injury concerns that he's had. We appreciate the question, Manuel. And we have another mailbag coming up shortly, but go down, continue to get this question in using hashtag Dolphins.